Cool. Hello, folks. So, in this video, I'm gonna continue checking out about what do you say, upgrading Uptime Kuma from V1 to V2, V1.1.23.1 to V2, which is 2.0.0 hyphen beta dot 3. So, I just had one thought in my mind, so which is basically to create a group. What and all data should I give, and what and all data should I just leave, right? I'm assuming that the data that I need to provide is only one, which is provide the name and I think that's it, and the type, of course, as group, right? Nothing else, I believe. Just a moment. So I'm just wondering what to do over here. So also, I was just wondering how is it stored in the MariaDB database. So I'm gonna check that out too. So for example, let me just do MariaDB client. Okay, I think I can just use MySQL for now, right? Or just say MariaDB. Yeah, I think that's good. And let me just say I want to check the connection information. So let me just say connect to the reconnected server. Print current command, quit, rehash, use warnings. Okay. Okay, so show databases. I can see Kuma database. Can I connect to Kuma? You have an error. Okay, so how do I connect? Connect Debian host. Okay, this is reconnect. Okay, current database is none, so I'll just give database is Kuma, and I'm connected to Kuma, right? And then now if I say show tables, I should see all these tables. And let me check out the monitor table. Description. Okay. No, out file disabled. Okay. Select star from monitor. Limit 1, right? It's an empty set. Okay, that's because there's nothing in it. So I'm just gonna create a group. Let's see how that goes. So let's create a group, and the friendly name. Do I need to give a friendly name? I didn't even have to give a friendly name. So okay, no. Check the manuals. How do I display this? Okay, one moment. MariaDB client vertical display. So I think we have to say / capital G. Okay, I think I remember looking at this. Start the MariaDB is vertical to make vertical output the default for all statements during the session. Oh wow, great. So I just need to say this and then hi. Okay, Cool. So I'll just use MariaDB and say Kuma. I'll just say help, and I can actually see vertical in the output. Okay, vertical and connect to Kuma. Right. So I just don't have to give this anymore. Right. So here you can actually see that Kafka producer SASL options is this and whatnot. So this, there is some default values, somehow it goes into it. Name, it gives a name by itself, but I think I'm not gonna give empty name. I'm just gonna give some name, specific name, so that it's clear. I'm just wondering, are these some default values? How do I describe this? Describe monitor. Cool. So it does show me the 95 rows. Basically, there are so many, uh, there are some default values, I guess. Yeah, default is this. There are like clearly things mentioned saying that null, no. So if there's no null, then okay. So this is the primary key, auto increment. Default is null, but and then null, yes. Default is null, the name. But I think the UI gives the name as new monitor. Null, no. The default is active. User ID is default null. Okay. Interval is default 20. Null, no. Okay. URL type text, null, yes. Null, okay. So basically I just need to give the type. Default, even that I don't have to give apparently. And then the weight, null, yes. Null, yes. Null, yes. Null, no. Created date, okay. Current timestamp. Keyword, null, yes. Okay. Null, no for max retrace. Interesting. Default 0. Ignore TLS, null, no. Okay. Upside down, null, no. Okay. Default. There is always some default in some cases. Max redirects, null, no. 10. Okay. I'll just give 0 everywhere, or I'll just give it only when it's needed. So even accepted status code JSON, there's no null. Like, you have to give a default, looks like it. Anyways, DNS result type, and then basically the value means null. It can be null, it can be null, it can be not null. Default is there. Null, not null, get. Okay. So I guess some things are just gonna be there no matter what. Okay, cool. So and I was actually planning to go and check out. Let me see if I can actually say. I'll just copy this whole thing and put here. Let me look at this. Cool. This was one row, okay. Just a minute. Okay. There is 95 of them. Yep. Only once I've gotten it. Okay, cool. So go to main tab and stay in the call. Cool. So here I wanted to check where and all we say null, no. Okay. So this I checked it out. Interval active, okay. Created date, okay. Max retries, okay. Ignore TL is okay. Upside down, okay. Max redirects, okay. Accepted status codes JSON, okay. Retry interval, okay. Method, okay. And gRPC enable underscore TLS. So method is here. This one is 0, 0, 56. Invert keyword 0. Kafka producer SSL. 0. Kafka producer allow auto topic creation, no. And then timeout 0. And then game digs given port only 1. MQTT check type default is keyword. And then cache bust 0. Conditions empty. Ping count 1. Ping numeric 1. Ping per request timeout 2. And then that's it. Cool. So there are some 25 not nulls, and cool. Now the thing is, I actually want to write some Node.js code just to see how things work out with this server. Before that, let me run my script over here, where I can just say delete all monitors. It's taking quite some time. I think it's gonna time out. Cool, time on. Cool. I will comment this out and run this, and it's good to go. Cool. So it got deleted, and this is the latest one, and this just got created, right? So okay. So the thing to do now is just a moment. Okay, so this was it like now, and we removed all the data, and there's no data. So I'm just gonna go ahead and maybe write some, say, Node.js code to see if things work out with Node.js. So let me just say I had actually created one. So Uptime Kuma tools is something that I had created, and in this I'll just say JS. I'll go to that directory, and npm version is this, node version is this. Okay, right. Let me check out the node.js.org LTS version. LTS is 22.18, and then 24.7 is the latest, right? So here you can see 24.7. So n, I can just say, I think LTS. Cool. I don't want 22.18 though. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use maybe, okay, I can have LTS also, sudo, but I'm gonna get maybe latest first, and then LTS latest. I think it's the same thing. Okay, I'll just take the latest, so 24.7, right? Not sure when it got released. Let me see. It got released just yesterday. Cool. So node version is this, npm version is this, npm install -j npm version is this. Okay, Cool. Looks like npm. I think you should try to install npm. The latest is 11.5, I think. npm. Oh, it's package. Okay, 11.5.2 is the latest, right? Cool. So, yeah, 11.5.2. Cool. So now, let me go ahead and say npm init. Right. Package name is Uptime Kuma Tools. Uptime Kuma API. Let's just say, right? Uptime Kuma client API. Right. Or just API. Uptime Kuma JS client. Uptime Kuma JS client. I think there is probably already something out there. Anyways, I'll just say client for now because it's actually the client for the API, Uptime Kuma API client. I can just say API client maybe, right? Okay, version 0.0.1, right? Description, a JavaScript based client for Uptime Kuma API. WebSocket API, right? Okay. Entry point is this, yes. Test command, nothing, git repo. Let's just go. Okay. Cool. So just a minute. I'll just go ahead and do this. And now, let me try to actually use CommonJS itself. So I'm just gonna write code here in CommonJS. By the way, I'm just gonna say Uptime Kuma API client, right? And then move the code package from there to this, right? So now I'm just gonna open this up and say index.js, right? And I think I can use test separately for test.js. So package JSON clearly says index.js is the thing. So I'll say npm install. I need the WebSocket library, WebSocket JS. You can download the WebSocket client. So WebSocket, okay. Read line. Okay, I want to see if there is a package called WebSocket. Node.js WebSocket library, yes. So socket.io. Okay. I wonder what is the difference between this and socket.io. They have type definitions also, TypeScript definitions. Cool. Let me just go here and check it out. Socket.io. Let me see if I can actually, get stuff from this. WebSocket server is not what I want. I want a client actually. Extension already supported and enabled on the server. Okay. Extension on the client. Okay. So browser, does this work on the browser? It does not work in the browser. The client is in the docs is a reference to backend. Let's use the native WebSocket object to make the same code work seamlessly on Node.js in the browser. You can use one of the many wrappers on Npm isomorphic. Okay. So there is a WebSocket thing in the browser itself that you can use. So you can actually create a WebSocket connection and then say add event listeners and then do stuff, right? So let me actually try that out in the browser also. So this is for the Node.js client. So I'm just gonna say Node.js client maybe, or should I make it as a browser client? Can you make it as a browser client? Let's see. Let me just create a library here and then run this in the browser maybe. Or the whole thing in the browser. First, let me write saying that let me leave these and then so WebSocket connection opened, listen for messages, right? So right, so this is pretty cool. Okay, so here we don't have to say send anything, we just can say I don't know, you can just say like connection opened and connection to server is opened, and then so you have this. So this is how you send and then receive data. Okay, so you can do a close and send. Okay, close error message open these events using add name or by assigning an event listener to the on event name property of this interface. Okay, so examples. Okay, add event listener. Okay, or by assigning an event listener to the on event name on this interface. Okay, it's closed, also available via on close property, on error, on message, on open. Okay, so instance properties, extensions. Interesting how Sentry has a banner here. Make it make sense. Anyways, to write a client, let's write a client actually. Is a promise based alternative to WebSocket for creating and using client side WebSocket connections. Stream API to handle receiving and sending messages, meaning that socket connections can take advantage of stream back pressure automatically, no additional action required by the dialer. Speed of reading or writing to avoid bottlenecks. So to check if it is available, you can use the following. If stream is supported. Okay, so I think you can do something like this. Console.log WebSocket stream is supported. Right, it's supported in our case. Okay, great. Creating a WebSocket stream object. Okay, it's the same or similar stuff. So you create WebSocket stream stuff. Okay, so you say this like WebSocket stream, and then you can also take options object containing, so it's not WebSocket secured, it's WebSocket string containing custom protocols and or abort signal. The abort signal can be used to abort the connection attempt before the handshake has completed, that is, before the opened promise results. It is typically used to implement a connection timeout. For example, the following code will time out if the handshake takes more than 5 seconds to complete. Controller protocols AMQP and all. Okay, signal abort, signal timeout 500. Okay. Okay, so controller is not used in here. Okay, readable, writable. So instance has an opened property. This returns a promise that fulfills with an object containing readable strings and writable strings. And as always, has opened successfully. Calling get reader and these objects provide us with a readable stream default reader and can be used to read from and write to the socket connection. Interesting. So if done break, okay, to read data from the socket you can continuously call read until the stream has finished, which is indicated by done being true. Browser automatically controls the rate at which the client receives and sends data uh, by applying back pressure when needed. Okay, close a complete sample client. Okay. Uh-huh. Interesting. So this I'll probably uh, I just want to see how these things work. Let me actually put this here and this is experimental, I think. So see the message event. Okay. Event source. Anyways, tricky stuff, but anyways, I'm just gonna go ahead and do this. Where I'm gonna actually try out something. One moment. For WebSocket stream, I'll just keep it like this. WebSocket stream in browser.js. So I think this one WebSocket and WebSocket in browser. Okay. This one is supposed to be 3001. Let me see if I can actually connect now. Okay, connect source has to be self. So basically, you have to be inside this, I think, to be able to connect to this. WebSocket connection to this failed, anonymous. I just put this. Group. Then updating was done. Submitting back for changes for this. Okay. Hmm. Is this even working though? WebSocket 3001. Hmm. Now, if I connect to this failed again. Anonymous. I'm not sure why that is the case, but there seems to be a thing. Let me check. Reload. So here you can see WebSocket. It connects to socket.io. Okay, switching protocols and whatnot. Okay. I think it's a socket.io server. Let me check it out in the front end what they do. So if I go here, here they use socket.io only, I think. Socket.io, yeah. So import socket.io and socket.io. So I think this is the one. Okay. What about JSON and all? I think that is part of the standard library. Just JSON. Anyways, let me check out how they've written here in package.json. So there is all these other stuff, but I'll look at the package.json socket.io. So there is a socket.io hyphen client actually, right? And WebSocket nothing. WSS nothing. WS is there. This is for the dependencies, and so WS is there. And if you start checking require and look for WS, you'll notice not much stuff, but socket.io. This is the server, hyphen client is the client. Okay. So here they wanted IO and all that. Okay. Peak references. Okay, so this is about disconnecting though, in this case. and then logging in. And then finally on disconnect resolve. I think here it actually creates a disconnect thing. So if you look at the documentation, there's nothing like that though. Anyways, okay, so I guess then I can't just use WebSocket just like this. I'll have to use a socket.io thing. Let me just use index.js and use something like socket.io. Oh, this is socket.io. Yes. And this is what we've been looking for. So this works for both Node.js and the like browser. So let's actually try out something. So we have namespaces concept in this socket.io. So yeah, so we install with npm. Okay, awesome. This is to create server, and so how do you run it as a client is what I'm going to check out. So let's see. Ready, okay. Import server, okay. On connection, client. So it is like create HTTP server and then give this server to socket.io. So now on connection, client on this event, you get the disconnect and server.listen. This one says io.listen. So there is socket.io hyphen client, right? So we shouldn't be having great. So I'm wondering how to write stuff, the documentation. So it's in the website itself. So what is this? Web transfer, server implementations, client implementations, installation steps, API. Source code. Great. So the latest is currently okay. Software server version. Okay. You need to understand which server version we have. Software IO. Is it 3.x or socket.io? It's 4.8 and 4.8.0. Both are 4.8.0. So in package lock, you have socket.io 4.8. It's 4.8.1 and this one is 4.8.1. Oh, cool. So we have 4.8.1, which is this. Let's just go with 4d4 and you don't need this. The other options below. Okay. Just need to say client and we're good to go, I guess. And then we need to write some code, of course. Initialization, so we'll just say socket.io client. Okay, that is done. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just put this here and say okay, IO, ES modules, TypeScript. I'll come back to these later. Okay, socket and then IO. So if you're in a different domain, of course, say redirected, reduced from this thing. Okay, this is in the browser, is it? Or custom namespace. In example, the panel connect to the main namespace using only the main namespace should be efficient for most use cases. Okay, so I can actually connect to it by saying something like http :// localhost 3001, right? And then socket instance offline behavior. Okay, emit on. Okay, says emitting and listening. The socket instance has a few other arrays that maybe I was using. Okay, on connection. Socket ID is this. Client side on connect. Okay. Socket ID. Okay, connect, disconnect. Okay, okay, so here I think it should say socket. Socket connected. Okay, connected, connect, socket connected. Oh, I basically have to just use the same socket, so there's no passing around. So connection, this is on server side. Client side is just connect socket, so you don't need this. On connect, you'll get the socket ID from that socket. Okay. Now it's currently connected to the server. Disconnected. Okay. We are connected to the server. So if you're not connected, it'll say false and then yep. Finally, on connect, you also say something like I think once called and the transfer is upgraded from HTTP long polling to WebSocket. Okay. Packet create drain. Okay. Life cycle. So I think I need to look at more of these. But for now, what I'm gonna do is go here and for add monitor, I'm just gonna go ahead and see if we can actually put a socket connection and then say add in the socket API. I'll have to do authentication and then monitor management saying add. Cool. So for now, I think I'm gonna stop because it's been quite some time. I'm gonna take a break and then I'll come back. That's all I had for this video. I'll see you next one. Bye.